And today is as much as we talk about Donald Trump on our show, today is a horrific day for Vladimir Putin.
Yeah.
Russia, the corruption that has gone on has come to the forefront now. They are banned from the Olympics. This is a humongous
Okay, well, but just give our viewers and listeners a highlight of urine being passed through glory holes.
They used to swap.
Glory holes.
That's right.
Fake
Glory holes.
glory holes.
This was going
in the doctor's
back
office.
Glory holes.
The Sochi Olympics, that they
just like
obviously
saying that word.
hosted, and there was
Glory
all
holes.
sorts of corruption, all sorts of cheating involved, and they are paying the ultimate price now. And this is just humongous news because they take the Olympics very seriously. We've heard people like Ovechkin and Malkin how important it is for them to represent their country. Now nobody is representing Russia in these Olympics.
Well, listen, we know that the Olympics have been under a shroud of negativity, of corruption for many, many years, right? This thing. But we also know that the Olympics is an emotional a moment in time for humanity where everybody unifies as a nation. Would that be a fair statement, Billy?
That's right. You carry the flag, and it's your country, and you're proud of whatever they do. And
Okay, 100%.
I'm happy to see here that the IOC has finally got balls big enough to throw these guys to the curb.
Well, they have no
But that is such a monumental thing, huh, Billy? Like you will not see the Russian flag at the Olympics, and you know that Vladimir Putin has to be steaming right now.
Well, I would be steaming if I was him too, but hear me out. Guys, I just want to make a point here that for the Olympic Committee or the Olympic hierarchy or the Olympic anarchy, which is anarchy.
It's anarchy now.
For them to do this move, the evidence must have been extremely compelling.
Oh, overwhelming, no doubt.
2 years ago, Frank.
No, but I understand, Billy. But what I'm saying is the evidence must have been so compelling that if they would have avoided this decision, this finality, I believe 100%, it would have eroded whatever confidence was left in the Olympics as a brand and it's a tradition that's been around since the turn of the century.
Yeah, and for the cheating and doping they did in Sochi, if they'd won any Olympic gold medals, any medals, there'd always be whispers at the closing games while they're on the podium.
Yeah, but the Russians
and snickering about the Russian athletes.
They're laughing in your face.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you guys go back,
right, Billy.
if you guys go back historically, and you believe in history, and you believe in documentation that represents history, and you go back as far as the Nazis or that, there's always been tampering with the rules, right?
Yep.
Even in the 60s, when they would go to East Germans or they would go to Russian women and say, "Are you taking steroids?" And they would go,
The German team,
not at all.
The German team
But
in
I'm just telling you
The thighs.
that historically this is a repeat offender. If I'm incorrect, guys,
No,
tell me.
you are 100% correct. They've had to compete under different, under independent countries before because of this. This is not the first time, but Russia has never faced anything like this.
Yeah, but Russia
and
has always
no,
been
you just have to
scrutinized.
believe-
Russia and East Germany and Nazi Germany was always scrutinized for trying to cheat.
Yep.
Hey, and guys, let's not. The Americans and the Canadians have also got caught.
Well, yeah, but never a situation where
Not to this extreme.
was banned.
Not to this extreme.
And not to this extent.
Not to this extreme. We've the Canadians have been caught. I mean, when I say Canadians, I say athletes that represented Canada.
And we had nobody on the IOC committee that could stand up for Ben Johnson. Every guy on that starting line of the men's 100-meter final in Tokyo, I believe, where it was.
Seoul, South Korea.
1989, yeah.
Seoul, Korea.
88,
They were on the juice.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Well, Carl Lewis got defended.
Oh, my
Carl
God.
Lewis got defended by his country.
Yeah.
They took Ben Johnson and they left him on the street.
And Dick Pound was one of the guys behind the Ben Johnson suspension, and he's a Canadian.
But it doesn't.
It was,
but,
you know what?
But that's not my point,
Here's my
Johnny.
point.
My point is. What Bill said is very accurate, that other countries rallied around their athletes to try to help them, to try to put a blanket of comfort.
Right.
And when Ben Johnson got caught, they left him alone.
Right.
Is that fair?
There was no one there to help.
And the girl with the long fingernails, the American Joyner, Percy Joyner,
Yeah.
she was so fucking hot, pardon my language,
Yeah.
so high on juice, and the Americans got her off.
Yeah, because they would swap urine samples. They
Yeah,
did what they
guys,
didn't do for
if
Ben Johnson.
if you take the atypical symptoms of using steroids, is your face solidifies. It becomes a square. It becomes weird. So if you take a look at Carl Lewis on some of his pictures, right, his face is almost like a caricature of a brick, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And all the symptoms, the acne,
Acne all over your back.
the acne all over the place,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's true.
The acne all over the place, all the symptoms. John's on steroids.
You could tell.
You can tell right now. Look at his muscles under the velour jacket.
I've done every drug. Why not? It's all in my new book. So why not, admit
you
to
go.
it now?
And what about that new book? How's it going, Johnny?
It's going really well. Yeah. I was on,
okay.
can I mention the radio stations I was on?
No, let's move on.
All
Okay.
right, let's move on. CHFI this morning and
So
207
Donald Trump,
tomorrow.
but he still said it anyways, and I'm in the fucking studio. Can you believe it?